Welcome to this edition of News Brief. Let's get you caught up on the major news of the week. There was yet another mid-air collision between an aircraft in the pattern and a high-speed airplane coming in for a landing that grabbed our attention. Last Thursday, a Cessna 340 twin collided with a Cessna 152 flying touch-and-goes at Watsonville, California. Now, Watsonville is a non-towered airport, and both pilots were transmitting their positions on Unicom. The 152 pilot had just turned final.
Area traffic, Twin Cessna 740 Whiskey Juliet, 1 mile, straight in, 20, full stop. Looking for traffic on left base.
Yeah, I see you. You're behind me. I'm gonna go around then, because you're coming at me pretty quick, man.
Everybody, please be advised there is an accident towards runway 20. Please be advised, Watsonville.
What you just heard and saw is from early analysis from the AOPA Air Safety Institute. Now, it's too early to know the cause and contributing factors to this accident. It will probably be a year before the NTSB issues its final report, but AOPA's top safety expert says there are already some lessons we should take to heart from this accident.
And the lesson for all of us is that when you see any kind of conflict developing, take action early. Another lesson that comes out of this is the FAA recommends that VFR traffic enter the pattern in a standard pattern entry, that is 45 degrees to the downwind. We made the point in our last video about belly checks when you're coming off of an extended turn or when you're turning from base to final. That belly check is any time that you're making a turn from base to final, just making one final check that final approach is clear and there's nobody coming in that will be a conflict before you go belly up and turn on your final approach.
By the way, general aviation averages about 4 fatal mid-airs a year, and 80% of mid-airs happen on final. You can find the full video on the AOPA Air Safety Institute's YouTube channel. The link is in the upper right corner. The FAA should do more to stop people from aiming lasers at aircraft. That's what the GAO says. Somebody hit an aircraft with a laser more than 9,000 times last year. That's a record, and it's against the law. But very few people are prosecuted, and GAO says that's because so few pilots fill out the FAA's long and voluntary questionnaire after reporting an incident. The FAA doesn't share info with law enforcement either, and GAO wants the FAA to make it easier for pilots to report on laser strikes and to share more with law enforcement. The FAA also gave out some $2.7 million in grants to study how drones can help in disasters. They'll be looking at how first responders can get drones in the air faster and safely. The research will look at coordinating drone operators from different agencies at a disaster site. The grant is split among 5 universities, with the largest going to the University of Vermont. Now, how would you like for your flying companion to go to school? To learn about how to help you with flying chores and particularly how to help in an emergency. Well, the AOPA Air Safety Institute can get your flying buddy started on that. It's called Companion CoPilot, a series of videos that covers everything from pre-flight to radio communications to emergencies.
It's always wise to be prepared for emergencies. Pilots train for emergencies and practice various scenarios on a regular basis. Whatever the situation, as a companion co-pilot, you can lend an extra set of eyes, ears, and hands that free up your pilot to deal with an emergency. Of course, an emergency checklist helps.
The series of 5 videos and additional resources are on our website, and the link is in the description below. National Aviation Day is August 19th of each year, and it was signed into law by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt in 1939. The year of AOPA's founding. It marks Orville Wright's birthday, and across the country, airports held events, including this one at Dare County Regional Airport in Manteo, North Carolina. It's just a few miles from the Wright Brothers National Memorial at Kitty Hawk. The First Flight Society was the group that pushed to have the monument erected, and they put on the event.
Well, we do it to talk about aviation, but also businesses in the Outer Banks. But we also want to show off some planes.
You can see a full video from the Manteo event by clicking the top of your screen now. And if you're looking for an aviation event out west, check out our Hangout, an AOPA fly-in at historic Felts Field in Spokane, Washington. It's happening September 9th and 10th. Phelpsville is home to the historic Flight Foundation, a museum with an impressive vintage airplane collection. The goal is to show the explosion of innovation in aviation from the 1920s through the 1950s.
So we began with the Lindbergh crossing in 27, and somewhat arbitrarily figured 30 years. Though in 1957, the same flight that Lindbergh accomplished in 27 in the Ryan was flown by a Boeing 707 at 500 miles an hour at 35,000 feet with 150 passengers on board. So when you put it in those terms, it's quite a evolution in a short period of time, with World War II defining the midpoint.
The museum will be open during the fly-in. The Historic Flight Foundation is also hosting a big band dinner dance on Friday night with an orchestra, professional dancers, and dinner. You can find tickets for the AOPA Spokane fly-in and that event on our website. Well, a group of friends from all over the country recently gathered at AirVenture. They get together virtually almost every day in a group video chat and frequently on an app called Clubhouse. That's a platform for public forum discussions. The Past, Present, and Future Culture Aviators room on there has 16,000 members and started with the group looking to connect with people during the pandemic.
It started with an Instagram post saying that there would be an aviation meetup on Clubhouse in the room at, I guess, like 7 o'clock, and someone started a room. And literally, I think a good portion of us knew other people within aviation peppered in, but it was the first time I've ever seen anybody set up a forum where everyone in different realms of aviation got together, whether they were an avionics, mechanic, pilot, controller, and we all had a conversation. And that one room lasted 7 days. Over the 7-day period, the room just kept opening, and eventually we figured to organize and let's create this and make this a reoccurring process. There's nothing like it. And so the Past, Present, and Future Culture Aviators was created, and we created the first aviation clubhouse on Clubhouse.
Still the largest.
Still the largest. Yeah, just a space for everybody to come together and share their passions, help out anybody we can in any way, shape, or form, fashion. Even if you're interested in it, come along. We'll tell you how to get started. We got resources, people to just reach out to and get you started, because that's the biggest thing, to know somebody in aviation. So I wish I had that, so I want to be an outlet for the next generation.
Well, you can find the group and join their room by searching Past, Present, and Future Culture Aviators on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is available in your phone's app store. We'll be back in a moment.
I remember developing A20 and thinking, is this as good as it can be? Can I make it better? You can't have the mindset that it's impossible to make it better. If you're already at that mindset, you might as well go home.
Welcome back. Some are talking recession, but we aren't seeing that in new aircraft shipments. Everything is up for the first half of this year compared to the first part of last year. Well, everything except turbine helicopters. That category is down by 2 choppers. Piston airplanes are up more than 9%. The biggest growth is with turboprops, and of course, business jets remain strong. But let's put things into perspective here. The entire aviation industry shipped just over 1,500 aircraft in 6 months. Ford sells more than 63,000 F-Series pickups in just 1 month. Looking to offset your carbon footprint when you fly? 4Air has just announced a program for general aviation. It's a subscription program. 4Air arranges for carbon credits to fund sustainability projects such as solar power. And you'll be able to get a decal for your aircraft to show your support for the environment. You can find more from 4Air's website. It's listed in the description below. And how would you like to fly a seaplane into Washington, D.C.? Well, this week, Tailwinds Air announced seaplane service from Midtown Manhattan to Washington. The amphib caravans will take off from the East River and land on wheels at historic College Park Airport. The airport's about 25 minutes from Capitol Hill by taxi, and there's a metro station just a short walk away. The flight is about 90 minutes, which sure beats Amtrak or the airlines. Fares start at just under $400 each way, which is about what you'd pay for the Acela train, but that takes 3 hours. Here's a way to get that paying flying job a bit faster. ATP Flight School and charter company Wheels Up Experience are partnering to streamline a pathway to a first officer job with Wheels Up. Eligible ATP flight instructors can interview with Wheels Up when they reach 1,000 hours total time. Then they could get a conditional job offer while they continue to build time, and at 1,200 hours they can transition to the right seat in a King Air, Cessna Citation, or Beechjet. ATP's Airline Career Pilot Program allows students to train for a professional pilot career at a fixed cost and on an accelerated timeline. Well, a special airline flight in honor of the first black woman to earn a pilot certificate. To honor Bessie Coleman and her legacy, an American Airlines flight from Dallas-Fort Worth to Phoenix hosted Coleman's great niece, Gigi Coleman Booms. An all-black female crew operated the flight, from the pilots to the flight attendants to the cargo team and the maintenance technician.
When you paint American on the side of your aircraft, you have to include all Americans in all workgroups.
The flight took some of the Bessie Coleman All-Stars to the academies at South Mountain to expose students to careers in aviation and the opportunities for everyone. And finally,
we're going to go for a little aerobatic ride, you and I. We're going to go.
You serious? Yeah. Oh, man.
That happy guy is Alton Downer. He works as a lineman here at Frederick to pay for flying lessons, and we all love seeing him when he pulls up the fuel truck. He's been very interested in our donated extra, and so one day, Dave Hirschman surprised him with a free aerobatic lesson. And to say he had fun would be an understatement. You can check out the full video on our YouTube channel. You'll have fun too just watching it. That's it for News Brief this week. You know the drill. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And join us again next Friday. Thanks for watching.
I'm Claudius Klimt. I've got 3,200 hours in the air in general aviation aircraft. I've got a single engine land, single engine sea rating, a multi-engine land, tailwheel endorsement, instruments, and gyroplane commercial. I am currently in a partnership in the Bristol 354 Bravo. Flying is totally rejuvenating. There's nothing else I can think about when I'm flying except flying. My wife calls it an altitude adjustment. I come home happy. I mostly use SiriusXM weather. Man, does it give peace of mind. Without that knowledge, it gets to be sort of anxiety producing. That's not really a whole lot of fun.